last time. Well, we live. What's up, y'all?
Mine says off air.
No, I'm live. It say live on mine.
Okay, live streaming. Okay.
We sticking true to our CP time.
Hey, yeah, we don't like to be late, even if it's just a couple minutes.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, now mine is saying live. Okay, cool. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Dead End Sports, the place where sports opinions collide. I'm the host, 12 Kyle, joined by my partners, Beezy, and Ken, and FIFO is on the way.
As usual.
As usual, like he is every week. A lot of stuff to talk about. Peyton Manning obviously is in the news. Calvin Johnson's in the news. LeBron Tremone James is in the news again. Could there be trouble in paradise in Cleveland? Ben Simmons' eligibility issues are in the news. Had a couple of upsets in MMA. If you're a big MMA watcher or fan, you definitely want to check out tonight's show as well. Marvin Harrison and T.O. were in the news. A lot of stuff to talk about. Maria Sharapova. A lot of stuff to get into. 2 hours really isn't enough, but we're going to get it done. That goes without saying. So welcome again to the place where sports opinions collide. This is Dead End Sports. We do it every week, but I got to say before we get started, thank you for everybody who supports not just Dead End Sports, but Dead End Hip Hop, support individually as well as collectively. We definitely appreciate the love. If there's anything that you guys want us to talk about that we don't talk about, which probably is not much, but make sure that you hit us up, subscribe to us on all of the socials. Of course, we have a YouTube channel right here, youtube.com/Dead End Sports. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat now, thanks to Ken. So yeah, we're everywhere, man. So make sure that you and not just listen and watch us, but pass the word. Tell a friend. We love that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. Got to bring on the crew first and foremost. My man Beezy. Beezy, what up, though?
What up? What's good? What's going on, everyone? How y'all doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Ken, what's going on?
Oh man, nothing much, man. This is your boy, Mr. Snapchat himself. Y'all follow me on Snapchat, man. At Kate, what B?
No, go ahead.
I meant to ask you, what the hell are you doing on Snapchat?
Hey man, I'm having a blast, man. At KBING.
He really is having a blast. That's what's funny.
Man, it's too much fun, man. Head over to Instagram. You can get my Snap code there, or Twitter at KBING is at. I would say it's at KBING everywhere, but that's not entirely true. But yeah, man, follow me on Snapchat, man. I sent B an album this week on Snapchat that you can't get anywhere else. That recommendation was only on Snapchat, and he listened to it today. He hit me back. He said, "You know what? You were right." And if you're not following me on Snapchat, man, you missed out. And it's not all hip hop either. It's it's some of everything. So follow me on Snapchat, man. I'm having a blast, man. People be snapping me. I be snapping back. QB hitting me up on there, man. Shout out to Q at Q Got No Rings. Half of Off the Bench. Shout out to Ryan.
Oh yeah.
You guys follow Off the Bench on Twitter, and catch out the NBA podcast brought to you by Dead End Sports. All right, I'm done.
I'm still amazed that you're on Snapchat. That's the one thing I'm not on, I guess. But yeah, like Ken said, follow us everywhere, man. We are all over the place. Like I said, a lot to talk about. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you jump into our chat room. Our chat room is open and it's interactive. Got a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people watching us on live stream. So, like I said, pass the word. We're here for the next 2 hours. So holler at us. Man, let's get right to it, man. The sheriff shutting it down. Peyton Manning is calling it a career. He formally, I guess the word leaked on Sunday, and formally had his retirement party, if you will, going away press conference. and met with the media and the brass from the Denver Broncos, and he's shutting it down, man. 18 seasons for number 18. Obviously, multiple passing records, 200 wins as a quarterback. More importantly for him, 2 Super Bowl rings. One of the all-time greats, and we'll talk about where we actually thinks that he fits in our top 5. But man, right there, let's start right there. B, what's your thoughts on Peyton Manning shutting it down?
I saw it coming. I think we all saw it coming. Just based off, with his injuries within the last since the neck injury, and then this season, how we kept saying his arm doesn't look as strong. Peyton need to do something. His arms look like spaghetti or whatever, but he would still manage to kind of have that long rest during the season and come back and be ready for the playoffs and lead his team to a Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, once he won a Super Bowl, to me it was kind of like I don't even know why he just didn't announce it right then and there, like just say, hey, look, you know what? I finished on top. I got the, what better way to finish it on top? You know what I'm saying? So for him, at his point in his career, he was playing almost 20 years, 20 seasons, and you winning a Super Bowl, going out on, you go off in the sunset. I saw it coming. I mean, it's not a surprise, or it's not no. I would have been more surprised if he would have decided to come back for another year. But him retiring, it's like I saw it coming. He got damn near a lot of QB records. QB records that's in most games won, most games started consecutively or whatever. Like a lot. I think one of those Brett Favre might still have, but
right.
I know he got like the most wins, I think, as a QB. He got everything right now. So it's just like at this point, there's nothing else to prove. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to be in a lot of people's top 5, top 3s, or whatever QB lists of all times. So it's just, I saw it coming. It was just like, it was a matter of when he's going to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he should have just said it right after they won the Super Bowl at the damn press conference or whatever. Like, I'm going out on top. So, or he could have said it before going to the playoffs and put off Ray Lewis.
Right.
Ray Lewis did his last year. I'm retiring, and all of a sudden his team just felt revived, and they was like, let's get one more for Ray. So, I guess, I just saw it coming. It's just nothing really surprised me about him announcing his retirement.
What about you, Ken? What's your take on Manning finally shutting it down?
I think it was a smart thing for Peyton Manning to do, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he would have been an absolute fool to come back for another season. Even if he would have, had a bounce back year, he still would have been a fool because, say, for instance, he lose the Super Bowl. Or not even lose the Super Bowl, he had to get there. But say, for instance, he don't even get to the playoffs, he get to the playoffs and lose again, man. Just go out this way, have something redeeming left on your resume. And let that be that. You got 2, man, and I think when we think about Peyton, I think what's interesting about him is that the only thing that's stopping him from being like the number 1 quarterback of all time or number 2 are Super Bowl rings. Statistically, he has everything else.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy when you look at. I'm looking at this and I'm like, to be honest, Peyton better be glad he won 2. And he better be he should be extremely thankful to the Denver Broncos for gifting him a second Super Bowl title. But I think there was one thing that I was like, why? So kind of what Cheryl was saying in the comment section. He is running away from the scandal, and for the longest time I didn't understand where he got the nickname the Sheriff from. And then it dawned on me. He likes to put his pistol on top of people's head. So
you stupid, yo.
So yeah, way to go, Peyton Manning. Walk away from this. The media loves you. They're gonna leave this thing alone. We're not gonna talk about this scandal anymore. We're not gonna talk about you juicing up anymore. All this stuff is just gonna go away. And the last thing is what is it? He played 18 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long ass time.
It is. To play football too. To play
football 18 years. That's a long ass time. Like they're 18 years old. Like Peyton was like that. When you really sit back and think about it, that's a long ass time to be playing football, man.
I think a freshman in college was probably just being born when Peyton Manning started playing in the NFL.
Yep.
Right.
It's
Their
crazy.
whole life,
Yep.
Peyton Manning throwing the football. It's kind of crazy. So a great career. He made Indianapolis relevant again. You know, from Jeff George and whoever else they had throwing the ball. Nobody cared about Indiana really. They were the one team on Tecmo Bowl or Madden or whatever you didn't want to play with. You know, he turned them into a winning team. And in all honesty, it was really off of his cerebral gameplay, his approach to the game. He had a prolific offense, and everybody that played with him was just as prolific. You know, even Demaryius Thomas until he fell off the last couple of years. You know, he had a hell of a career with Peyton Manning. I mean, the guy could play that position like no other. And for that, he is to be applauded. He don't have all of the rings that people would like. And people are going to sit here and try to downplay or discredit the things that he's done by, you know, compartmentalizing what he's been able to do through his career by saying he's the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. I think we all get it, but I think that's still a little bit insulting. The man can play the position no matter how you want to put it. And you know, he was just great, man. And I think he's to be respected for that. And for the most part, a lot of people do. So yeah, I think that's it, man. But yeah, he turned the Colts. You guys remember the Colts? The freaking Colts.
Yeah, they were nothing
for years.
Right.
And he even won a ring with the Colts. Unbelievable. And then he went to, of course, he got one with Denver. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. Salute to Peyton. You did the right thing. Get out of there, man. Walk away. Keep that thing in the holster, man.
I think I just to echo what you guys said. I think he had an incredible career. I think he's broken so many records that sometimes, I mean, like we all know that records are made to be broken, but I think he put these records so far out there, and he revolutionized the position. I mean, I think one of the things that always stands out to me is that Manning's critique and his preparation. Like he knew he wasn't the best athlete. He wasn't, you know, he didn't necessarily have the strongest arm. He didn't have an arm like Favre. He couldn't run like Cam, you know, anything like that. But Manning beat you mentally. And I think that's the thing that, you know, even now, when you look at the flip side of it, when they played against New England, he struggled, I think, because mentally he was going up against Bill Belichick. But you can't you can't say anything bad about what he did on the football field. I think for the level of talent that he had, obviously I think more people would want to have seen him win more rings. But he's got two, you know, so it is what it is. I think, but statistically, he'll go down as the best. Statistically, his stats are just through the roof. And I don't know, it'll be a while before somebody can come along. For one, you'd have to play a long time. But if you play in today's NFL and you play a long time, I mean, you may have and you got to be relatively healthy. Other than that year that he had with the neck surgery, he didn't miss many games. And he started every game from day one of his NFL career when he debuted in 1998. And it's interesting because I remember Peyton Manning his rookie year. He sucked. And I mean, sucked. But part of it was, too, like Ken said, he was playing for the Colts. I mean, the Colts sucked. They didn't have anybody, you know, but he made Indianapolis relevant, and he went over to Denver, and, you know, he took a team that I think a couple of years ago when they went up against Seattle, you know, that was arguably his best year. And they just ran into a buzzsaw into that defense, and he didn't get a ring then. But, you know, he found his way to game manage his way to a ring this year. So, you know, I think this is – I'm like B. I would have, if I had won the way that they won, considering he didn't play that well in particular in the Super Bowl, And I would have retired right there on the podium as soon as Jim Nance handed me the trophy.
Yep.
You know, because it was no need. I was a little surprised that he took as much time to contemplate it, if you will. I mean, but
Right.
you know, I think Denver kind of made it clear that they were going in a different direction. So you got to tip your hat to John Elway for first and foremost going to get Peyton Manning, because a lot of people had threw dirt on him and thinking that he was done a couple of years ago. So you got to credit Elway and the Broncos organization, man. But Peyton Manning, you know, I think if you push the controversy stuff aside, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. If you push that stuff aside, just his play on the field, I mean, he's right there, man. You can't deny what he did on the field. I mean, he was an incredible player, and as a fan of football, I will miss watching him play on Sundays.
He lit up the field.
Oh, he did, and again, he was prepared. His preparation was like no one. And I remember him doing an interview, and he was talking about like how he said sometimes he and Marvin Harrison they didn't even have to talk. They would reference like a game that they played back in 2001 in December, and they would run a particular play based on that particular situation. So I think when you have that kind of chemistry with guys like Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, and he had decent running backs and Edgerrin James and Marshall Faulk. Well, I shouldn't say decent. He had great running backs. I can't say that. And for a long time he didn't have a defense. So Peyton Manning, he had a hell of a career. I don't think you can deny that. I think most, and then the thing that I think that's will go down in history is that he did it. He went out on top. I mean, not many players get to go out on top. Most players leave the game limping, or they leave the game getting cut. So, well, I got to give him props for that.
Peyton is limping. Hey, okay, so doesn't he own a winning record against Brady in the playoffs?
No, he does not. Well, in the playoffs, I don't know. I know he's 6-11 against Brady. Yeah,
I know, but I think I saw, and I could be wrong, and I'm not trying to start a Brady versus Manning thing. But I was just wondering. I just bring it up because, I mean, people will put Brady as the second best quarterback of all time, and people say that Peyton Manning is the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. But I think it says something if that stat is indeed true for him to own a winning record against Brady in the playoffs. So I thought we saw FIFO somewhere.
He was on and he disappeared. So FIFA will be back in a second, I guess. Which leads me to my next question. When you're talking about top five, now we do top five. We've got some of the best, most argumentative, most crazy top fives by position that you will ever find. You can find them all on our Dead End Sports YouTube channel. Shout out to Roy Hibbert, who's still top. Yo, I'll never live that down, man. There's people still asking me about Roy Hibbert, man. Some dude tweeted me like 2 weeks ago. He's like, "Yo, man, you see Roy Hibbert had a double-double last night?" The dude don't even follow me, and he tweeted me like, "Did I see that Roy Hibbert had a double-double?" I was like, "Hey, man, y'all not gonna let Roy Hibbert go, man." So anyway, so for those of you watching, I had a misfortune of calling Roy Hibbert a top 5 center. I think I was high, and I don't get high, but that's another story for another day. So top 5. Let's go top 5 quarterbacks that you've seen. All-time quarterbacks that you've seen. The reason why I say all-time quarterbacks that you've seen is because, we didn't see Unitas. We didn't see, Sonny Jurgensen. Ken did, but we didn't. So give me your all-time top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Number 1, I'm gonna go with Joe Montana. Number 2, I guess
Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, wow, that's awful. I can't oh my God, that's bad. That is so bad. But
oh man, I'm messing with you.
But number 2, I guess I would go with Brady just because of his, the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he does have 4 rings. As well in today's NFL. Number 3, I go with Peyton Manning. Number 4, I go Dan Marino because he's probably one of the best pure passers I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And number 5, John Elway, because he was like the 2-minute king.
Oh,
king.
man.
So
Yes.
that's my top 5. Even though just like any other quarterback who has a great running back, he really won those last 2 Super Bowls off the legs of Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Terrell Davis had those 2 out-of-body experience seasons, and John Elway benefited from that big time. So, I know if I'm John Elway, I should be thanking Davis for helping me get those damn rings because
no question, because they couldn't get over. They got smoked in a couple of Super Bowls.
Yeah, I know. So him having Davis and Davis having those out of body experience seasons, man, that really, I know John Elway was happy to retire going out like that. But yeah, that's my top 5 right there.
What about you, Ken?
My 3. Okay, so Joe Montana, of course. I hatefully put Brady at 2nd. But I can't deny the rings. So I'll show him the respect in spite of my feelings towards Brady. So he'll be 2nd. Peyton Manning 3rd. I mean, statistically, the only things missing are the rings. He just has 2 less than the guys ahead of him. So, I think winning rings has to mean something. Especially he's played in 4. So, but anyway, digress. 4th, he doesn't have a ring, but Dan Marino, man, Dan Marino used to light it up. I don't think people talk about Dan Marino enough. He used to light it up, and he played in the Super Bowl. He lost it, but that boy can throw that rock, man. And then 5th, and we're talking about greatest quarterbacks that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll go with Brett Favre.
Okay.
Only because the way he played the game he made it exciting for me to watch him play. He was a bit of a cowboy, but when he was going and when they had those teams with Dorsey Levens and Antonio Freeman and all them all them boys, man, they were something else. But there was another guy that popped in my head because we're talking about quarterbacks that we've seen, that we've watched, and Kurt Warner popped in my head. Kurt Warner.
But did he do it long enough though, Ken?
But he got to the big game every time, like.
And that's why I was.
And I'm not denying. I'm just
Warner
asking.
and Brett Favre, because Kurt Warner, like the greatest show on turf, we all remember that, and they should have won too.
Boy. Yeah.
But not only that, he took the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl, and was a Big Ben heroic play away from winning his 2nd Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
They had that one, and that defensive back, I'll never forget it. He had that interception, and he couldn't bring it in. And I think they scored on that touchdown on the Nets play. Kurt Warner, and I'm with you on his longevity, but he did it in St. Louis, and then he turned around and did it in Arizona. Which says a lot for his ability.
And they had less talent in Arizona too. You're right, Ken. That's a good point.
So Kurt Warner gets an honorable mention for me. He was right there, but I really need to kind of think about it a little bit more. So I'm going to give Brett Favre the edge because he played he was really close to going to the Super Bowl too. But he lost in New Orleans that year when they beat the shit out of him in the playoffs. But yeah, so those are my 5. But I really want him in there.
And joining us is the
I'm gonna put Warner in there, man. Forget it. I'm putting Warner in there. I'm putting Warner in my 5.
Okay. Joining us is the 4th member of the crew, our boy FIFO. FIFO, what's going on, man?
Technical difficulties.
It's all good. It's all good.
You
We
know,
just talked about Peyton, and now we're doing our top five. Uh, we're doing our top five quarterbacks that we've seen of all time.
Somebody said Chris
Yeah.
Chandler.
Hey man, Chris Chandler stay hurt. You breathe on Chris
Um,
Chandler, he got hurt.
I wanted to talk about the Peyton thing just
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
because we didn't get your take on that.
Yeah, look, man, Peyton got baggage now, and he's old. He can't outplay his baggage. So to me, I think it's a smart move not to, because I saw some reports on Bleacher Report saying that Peyton still wanted to play at least one more season, but he was drawing little interest. If I was a GM, if I was an owner, I wouldn't want Peyton right now. Why would you?
Same here.
Why would you? His play does not. Now if we're talking prime Peyton Manning, oh yeah, get that man the max. I don't care what he's got going on. But right now, not worth it. Not worth it. Top 5 quarterbacks all time. Number 1, Joe Montana. I think I agree with Ken's list, except for Kurt Warner, honestly. Dan Marino, I was always a Dolphins fan, and Dan Marino did it in an era where people weren't really passing. They weren't pass happy. So and he had the record for a long time.
Right.
A long time. Brett Favre or Kurt Warner wouldn't have been my number 5. I think I would have put Steve Young. Because I think Brett Favre definitely was, a slightly better entertainer because he gave you more drama. He was definitely very dramaful. But I don't know, man. Steve Young, I think he was just a better overall quarterback. Better of a that's the guy I would want on my squad. If I had to pick out the two, I'd take Steve Young over Brett Favre.
Yeah, my list actually is the same as B. I got Montana, Brady, Manning, and then who'd you have at 4B?
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, and then at 5 was
John Elway.
John Elway. I kind of teetered back and forth. I mean, like guys like Favre, Fouts, and Warren Moon for me are kind of like in that that next tier of quarterbacks, which I think Warren Moon was a monster.
Yeah.
If you count what he did in Canada, I mean, like I've never seen a prettier. He and Marino probably threw the best spirals like you'd ever want to see. But yeah, I have Brady over Manning just because I think when it comes down to it, I think prime for prime, I think Brady gets the slightest of nods over Manning. But Manning in his prime was, I mean, like, the Peyton Manning we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years isn't the same Peyton Manning from his prime. The Colts Peyton Manning, you put him up against Brady, it always comes back to rings. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Montana, I don't think there's any question that Montana is for me, the overall number 1 because I mean he got it done. I mean, and he got it done on the biggest stage, and you were never out of the game with Joe Montana. Never out of the game. I don't care if you were down 20 with 5 minutes to go. Joe Montana was gonna find a way, and you knew he was gonna find a way. And Brady's kind of like right there too. But my list is the same as B. And like I said, there's a couple of quarterbacks on the outside. My man Paul in the chat room asked about Drew Brees. Drew Brees probably top 10, top 15ish for me. Another incredible quarterback. He's probably gonna go down as just having, and I hate to say just having a ring, but I mean, you look at his numbers. He's done a lot with subpar New Orleans teams as well. But Peyton Manning, man, statistically, he will go down. And Brett Favre, too. I can't forget about Favre. Like Ken said, Brett Favre was a gunslinger. He'd win you a lot of games, but he'd lose you a lot of games, too. So Brett Favre definitely top 10. Not top 5 for me, not at all. So it's always an interesting take when everybody is. And that's why I prefaced it by who we've seen. Because, again, we didn't see some of the older quarterbacks. A couple of people in the chat room referenced the fact that they didn't see Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts is a beast. He just didn't have, and again, if you saw football in the 80s and the 90s, and then even now in the 2000s, when it comes to passing, it's totally different. They throw the ball a whole lot more. I can't imagine Dan Marino playing in this type of, NFL. Because like B said, they didn't really throw the ball like that. I mean, Marino did because he didn't have a running game. But, yeah, man, you put Marino in this era, all of Manning's records are coming down. But yeah, it's always good to talk top five. Always good to talk top five. So we had another retirement today. It became official. Our boy Calvin Johnson, Megatron, is hanging him up, man. 9 years in the league. He is one of the best receivers from his era. I got into a lengthy debate with some of my friends today about whether or not Megatron would make the Hall of Fame. That remains to be seen. But we got a Detroit fan right here, man. B, I know we talked about it before, man. Real quick, give us your take on knowing that it's finally over for Megatron.
Oh, it just shows. It just is proof that the Lions front office organization is just trash, man. I mean, you have arguably you have one guy which is arguably probably the, you can say he's one of the best running backs. Well, not one of, but like people say that he is the running back
best.
for the
game. A lot of people say that.
And Barry Sanders, and bad front office. Look what the guy do. He retires. Same thing with this. This guy only played in 9 seasons. Only
9 seasons, yeah.
Made the postseason twice and not one single postseason game. At this point, and he said, his legs, he don't want his legs to get bad on him. He don't want his ankles to get bad on him. Why sacrifice your body for an organization that's not doing what they want to do to, put yourself in a winning position? You know what I'm saying? I mean, football is a crazy sport where you can have a nightmare season one year and then have a dream season next year, or vice versa. But it's just like I feel his pain. I mean, it's just like I'm not mad like, oh, you quitter and all that stuff. Hell, the front office is just full of crap, man. So our front office has been a mess, man. It's always been a mess for the past plus 15 years. So that's why we not be able to get the players we want to get or keep the players we need to keep. You draft someone like a Dominican Sue high like that, you got to keep him. You can't let him.
Right.
You can't let him go. You know what I'm saying? It's just that front office is just a mess. It's just a mess. So, I'm pretty sure it seemed like Calvin Johnson was very smart. He's a smart dude, smart with his money. I'm pretty sure he has some, probably business ventures or definitely life after football. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's really young, so I'm pretty sure he went to Georgia Tech, so I'm pretty sure he has some type of smart savvy with him. So I wish him the best of luck. And maybe this could just be him retiring and coming back. And probably for like a veteran minimum, playing for like someone like the Patriots or the Panthers or somebody or Seahawks. Or something like that. You never know. I know Pat-Man Jones had threw it out there that he think that he's gonna probably stay retired for barely a year and come back. But I don't know if he's not winning. If he's really saying his body's beat up the way it is, he probably might call it quits and just call it a career. So, right. But yeah, Lions organization, man, is just this is just another proof that our front office is some God. I don't want to cuss too much because we on YouTube, man. Right.
Yeah, it's all good. FIFO, man, your thoughts on Megatron hanging him up, man?
I feel beat. You know what I'm saying? Arguably the best running back of all time, arguably the best wide receiver, at least almost hands down the most physically gifted wide receiver of all time. Like let's be honest. 6'5", 220 something, solid muscle, 4.37 40. 44-inch vertical. Come on, man. There's a reason why they call him Megatron. And the man can run every route. He could run by you. He could jump over double teams. You talking about, like, I don't think that there's been a more physically gifted wide receiver ever in the NFL.
Right.
And B, you didn't even mention about how many records he already holds.
Oh yeah, 15 NFL records. I have to look and see what they all are, but he has 15 NFL records. I'm pretty sure they like 15 wide receiving records, but yeah. I mean, I know stuff like that would probably would look in consideration for a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I mean, I don't. He's a Hall of Famer, but I just don't think he's first ballot. Hell, if T.O. ain't in,
right,
his numbers. And I damn sure. Well, you know what? You never know. Because how crazy that freaking Hall of Fame is, they might. Oh, because Calvin Johnson is so likable, They might let him in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because T.O. wasn't likable, but T.O.'s numbers scream first ballot Hall of Famer. You know what crazy?
But what about this? But what about Marvin Harrison, who is going to have better numbers than Calvin Johnson?
Right.
He didn't get in first ballot.
I'm just saying, you know how crazy.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Like Calvin Johnson, I guess for NFL standards, he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer because
I'd put him in.
He was so likable and he wasn't a cancer in the locker room. So, but no, I mean, me coming as a Detroit Lions fan, lifetime Detroit Lions fan, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he is a Hall of Famer, just not.
Oh, no question.
Yeah,
no
just
question.
not first ballot.
No question. What about you, Ken? Thoughts on Megatron shutting it down?
It's sad. It took a while for him to make it official. You were kind of hoping, at least I was, that he would change his mind and come back and play one more year. But I don't think you can blame the guy, because you play this sport to win. And when you look at the future of the Lions, you think you're going to be winning anytime soon.
Not with Stafford.
Yeah, so, they got some issues to work out there. So it may not even be worth it for him to come back, especially if he's in a situation where he doesn't really need the money and he was only really playing to win or because he really, really loved the game. And maybe for both. And if he can't have, both, then hang it up. And that's kind of the way I see it, man. I will miss watching him play because every Sunday when he was definitely at the peak of his abilities, he was going to give you something, a big play somewhere, somehow. He's going to deliver. He was literally unstoppable. Speed, size, strength, hands. He had it all. And man, I'll never forget when he beat Dallas, and that time he jumped over 3 guys and caught the ball. That game, that comeback game that they had, the comeback cats, I think they were called that year. When he and Stafford were just clicking. They had to because they found themselves trailing a lot, but they don't come back like that without Megatron. And when he was on, and you could just throw it up and he'll go get it. Was an outstanding receiver, and it would have been nice watching him play with an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
The way we had a chance to see Randy Moss play with an elite quarterback in Tom Brady. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows what we would have seen if he would have had a chance to play with a guy who can get him the ball? A Breeze.
Yeah. Oh.
Breeze made Colston into a good receiver. So yeah, man, it's sad, but I'm glad that he's walking away as healthy as he can be right now. And we at least got a chance to see him play, and he'll get a chance to enjoy the rest of his life and live it the way he want to live it, hopefully pain free.
No doubt, no doubt. I just as a fan, man, I'm gonna miss him. I like the fact that my teams didn't have to play him every week, but yeah, I just I like watching him, man. He was just an incredible player. I'm like B. I feel for the Detroit fans because they have a tremendous fan base, and this is another great leaving the game early. I don't know if if the losing had something to do with it, but I think it has to have something to do with it because you just don't want to. Who wants to lose every week? I mean, and not even be competitive. Everybody wants to play for that ring. After a while, the money and Calvin Johnson made a ton of money, and I'm pretty sure he's not a dumb guy by any stretch of imagination. Very smart and intelligent guy. So I'm pretty sure he's saved his money well, and I don't know if he has a family or anything like that, but he's okay, and I'm pretty sure he'll find tons of things to do now that he's not playing football. But I'm like Ken, I mean, we watched Calvin play here in college at Georgia Tech, and his quarterback was horrible. I mean, Reggie Ball sucked. I could throw the ball better than Reggie Ball, but so we never got a chance to see him play with a great quarterback. So we just that's the unfortunate part. That's the unfortunate part. So we wish the best to him. Salute to Calvin Johnson. Let's move it over to the NBA. Ken, Are we having trouble in paradise in Cleveland? Your boy LeBron James is sending these little subtweets, and they go out last night, and of course it's one game, but they get beat by the Memphis Grizzlies. They get beat by the Memphis Grizzlies without Gasol, without Zebo. I don't think did the point guard play? Conley play? I don't even think Conley played last night.
Nope.
He didn't play.
They trotted out there Tony Allen. They trotted out Tony Allen, Vince Carter, and a bunch of and Lance Stevenson and a bunch of D-leaguers, and they beat Cleveland at home. There's a disconnect between LeBron, Kyrie, and this Cleveland Cavaliers team. As you guys know, they made the change as far as head coach. Tyronn Lue came in. The team is now 12-7 under Tyronn Lue. So they've been positive, but it's still a work in progress. Ken, what's going on in Miami, man?
I honestly don't know. I've been reading the reports. I'm trying to put it all together. I'm trying to read between the lines, and I can't quite figure it out. Now, I do know a coaching change in the middle of the year, in the middle of a season. It may be some adjustment periods there because, Lou has a different way of coaching, a different style they want to play, as opposed to Black. So, but 12-7, and a lot of people were singing Lou's praises. And I didn't know if he was the answer, and he's not showing he's the answer so far. He's done some good things. He's done some positive things, playing up tempo, trying to get playing small ball more. I liked his usage of Kevin Love. I thought that was good. These are things that he probably could have, suggested to Blatt, and maybe he did, and Blatt didn't want to do it. But we haven't seen a significant improvement. From what I've seen I've seen where I think Lou feels like he can take this team. But whatever's going on, this chemistry issue that they're hinting doesn't exist between Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. There was a report that came out today, and I read it. It seemed like a lot of fluff, like they're, but who knows, because the vertical is pretty good. They have some pretty reliable sources, and the sources are other scouts and GMs that are making their comments based on the things that they've seen. Nobody was quoting anything out of the organization. But I think the main problem is this. We spend too much time talking about Cleveland for the wrong reasons. Whether or not they're making it up or not, it's always something negative. It's like this negative shroud that's surrounding that team because of expectations put on that team because of one player they have named LeBron. And the talent that they have on that team with the Kyrie, with Kevin Love, that's not working. So and then you look on the other side and you see the Warriors and you see the Spurs and the stability they seem to have. Right. And you wonder, why can't this team do the same? And I'm hoping and I'm thinking that it's possible. It's all just stuff to talk about. I don't buy much into LeBron's tweets. I really honestly think he's messing with the media. He'll do something like that. That doesn't seem like it's above him to do it. He'll do it. And I think he put out another tweet. Have a beautiful mind. Like, I really think he's just messing with you because they're gonna latch onto it. When they play well, they're electric. They go up and down the field. They're something else. But when they're off bad. And last night was an indication of that, where they just came out flat. And that, while it's the team's job to come out and respond and play, Lou bears a lot of responsibility for that because he should have had them boys ready to go.
Right.
And they were not. And they were right there to win the game and just couldn't execute down the stretch. So it's the same old story for the Cavs. And if Lou doesn't like LeBron. You got what you wanted, right? And Lou is not getting it done. And maybe it's a learning curve for Lou. I don't know. But we'll see, man. It's interesting. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they think they can turn it on when they get to the playoffs. And we know with LeBron, at any given moment, they can snap and walk to the finals. But at that point, that's when they'll need everything that people are talking about right now in order to beat what we presume are the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Okay.
It's concerning. I'm with B again. I don't think they're gonna win a title in Cleveland until they figure this thing out.
What about you, FIFO? What do you think is going on in Cleveland? What's wrong in Cleveland?
I think one of my boys a while ago, Ken and Bino and Nigel, a while ago, I asked him, what if LeBron went back to Cleveland? How do you think LeBron and Kyrie could play together? I always thought that they could really mesh. Because with LeBron's skill set of being a true point forward, you don't need a true point guard. You need a guy that can actually fill it up and get you buckets, kind of be your pseudo two guard because you have a point forward. And to see this, he always said no. He didn't think that they could play together because Kyrie is coming into his prime, wanting to be kind of, his own guy, wanting to, kind of sow his royal oats in the NBA before, conformity.
Right.
And I think that I don't know why they don't have chemistry because I watch them and they don't really play off of each other. And we've seen at times last year when they have played off of each other and when they haven't played off of each other. Last year, I firmly remember against Utah early in the season, Kyrie had like 26 points, 0 assists, 0. And it was almost like a point. And like LeBron, it was like a 2 or 3 game stretch where LeBron kind of just took a back seat and was like, okay, Kyrie, you do whatever the hell you want to do.
Right.
And I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe Kyrie may be too brash. He may be too brash to actually learn from LeBron, learn how to play off of LeBron. Because the thing is that I think he needs to understand that in 3 years from now, while you're still under contract for the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron is declining. We see that. In 3 years from now, you're gonna be the main reason why they win anything. But you have to learn now. And I don't know if that's what's really playing into it, but they don't have chemistry. And there's they obviously have the talent. They obviously have the talent. LeBron can play with anybody. LeBron makes everybody better. We see that. But for some reason, if you can't play with LeBron, I don't think it's LeBron. I think it's you. I think Kyrie need to look at himself in the mirror and figure it out. Because right now, LeBron is still top dog, but understand you will be top dog. Just learn how to be the sidekick. It'll be the reserve D-Wade LeBron thing. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think, Ralph, that going back to what you said about Irving wanting to be that guy, about your boy saying he's in his prime, he's coming into his own, and now he's second fiddle to LeBron, and not only second fiddle to LeBron, but he's third fiddle to Curry? Like, if you're Kyrie Irving and you're seeing what Curry is doing and all of the attention, and in your heart of hearts, your competitive spirit, that deal that you have, you're like, I know I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have the freedom to do it because it's not your team. You think that could have something to do with this?
But I think that, here's the thing. When you surpass LeBron, it's undeniable on the court. It's not undeniable on the court that Kyrie has passed LeBron yet. Kyrie is not at Steph Curry's level in shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not at his level right now. And I think that Kyrie is extremely talented, but he needs to start playing an overall game. When you watch him defensively, he looks lazy. And that's not winning basketball. That is the side of the court you have to play the hardest on. You know what I'm saying? Forget offense. You have to play defense. And at times he looks disengaged defensively. You know, and I can see how that could rub a LeBron James the wrong way. LeBron plays both ends of the court hard, multiple positions. And all we're asking you to do is play the perimeter. And you can't. Come on, man. Come on, man. Do you know that I think Kyrie is one of the highest. He gives up one of the highest points per games to opposing point guards. I think he's giving up over 22 points a game to opposing point guards, dog. That's not acceptable of an elite starting point guard in the NBA. It has to start on that side. That fuels offense. We've all played basketball. You know, when you guys get locked in on defense and you start to get turnovers and layups and everybody's feeling themselves, threes start falling, jumpers start falling, everybody's in the flow. When you watch Golden State, it starts with defense. Yeah, Steph Curry has that freedom, but Kyrie would have that freedom as well. But what Ty Lue trying to do is trying to kind of play like them, but obviously Cleveland's version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to get stops. Golden State gets stops when they need it, when they want it, when they have to. Cleveland is not there yet. And Kyrie has to take that on himself because he's playing at the deepest position in the league. Every night you have a top tier opponent. Even the second tier guys will drop 25 on you.
And when you say that in order for him to have that freedom, he has to earn it, and on the defensive end, you know?
Yes. Because Steph earns it defensively. Of course, you know, I don't think Steph is a shutdown guy, but Steph gets turnovers. Steph plays his man, albeit sometimes he doesn't play the elite point guard. They put Clay on him, but he plays his matchup. You know what I'm saying? He is the weak link, but they can hide him. Kyrie can't be giving up 22 points a game. That's unacceptable.
Well, I think Lue should try this point forward thing. I think if you know that LeBron is a good all-around player, you see it working with, you know, in terms of talent compared to LeBron, somebody like Draymond. If Draymond can make it work, then you damn sure know LeBron can make it work. He has before, and free up Kyrie. So Lue has to figure that out and figure out how throughout the course of the game can, you know, he allow Kyrie to have that freedom to score.
But you know what though? Here's the thing: if you watch a lot of the Cavs games down the stretch, sometimes he doesn't even play Kyrie. He plays Belly. Why?
Yeah.
Because Belly gets stops and Belly scores threes. See, like LeBron has to play with finishers. I pass you the rock. Either you're coming to the rim and finishing, or you're shooting, or I'm throwing alleys and you're finishing. He's a playmaker, so that means you have to finish. But Kyrie has to finish and play make as well. Same thing like D-Wade. Once they figured it out, once D-Wade was like, okay, I'm super nice and I'm still in my prime, but this nigga, he nicer than me. So we're gonna play off of you, but I'ma still be me. But it's off of you. Kyrie has to get to that, and I think Kyrie is kind of like, it should be me. Because when you listen to Charles Barkley back in the day, when he was with Philly, he told Julius, he told that whole superstar team the offense should go through me as a rookie. I think Kyrie is that type of brash. I don't think it spills out. I don't think it gets out in the media. Obviously, what happens in the locker room and behind closed doors, it stays there. But come on, man. Look, Kyrie is two-time All-Star Game MVP. Last time they played in the World Basketball, he was the MVP coming off the bench. Kyrie is talented, and Kyrie, I think, is the type of guy that wants to prove a point. But on this squad with championship expectations, you have to earn certain freedoms.
Yeah, we just lost Kyle. What you got, B?
Yeah, I think something is really, really fishy going on in that locker room for LeBron. But okay, first of all, why are you bringing this up? To me, and I said this before, if you have an issue with something, keep it within the locker room. Don't air your team's dirty laundry out to the media. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it within the locker room. If you got issues, Man, I'm pretty sure, and you know, in the past, I'm pretty sure there's been teammates. I'm pretty sure Sean Kemp and Gary Payton probably bumped heads, or you
Oh,
know,
of course.
you know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Ewing and John Starks probably done bumped head in the locker room, or almost got the fist fighting. But you know, you keep that within, you keep that within the locker room, man. Like, just don't. Why are you even talking about that? See, that shows to me what the comments that LeBron James been making and stuff to me. It shows that he's like going to this home stretch into the playoffs. He's not trusting the guys he's going to war with. Like, I mean, simple as that. It just seems like he is not trusting, or he doesn't trust the guys that he's like, wait a minute, I don't feel we're going to be good enough to beat a Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the team that they're looking. That's because you pretty much can say they're going now that something catastrophic happened, that they're going to take them.
Right.
It's just like you have to look at the squad that they're going to end up facing in the finals again, possibly again, is the Golden State Warriors. You have to look at them and be like, look, is these guys that I have, are they prepared? Are we prepared to take this, to get in and beat these teams 4 times? And they're not. And LeBron knows that. But if he knows that, keep that within the locker room. Have a man-to-man with, your Kyrie Irving and your Kevin Loves and your Tristan Thompsons and all those guys that's on the squad that's supposed to be there y'all supposed to be at war together. But, talk that amongst them. Get Tyronn Lue or whatever. I mean, something. Keep it within the locker room. I just don't like him. I just don't like that all talking to the media about what you feel your team needs to be and stuff. Keep that within the locker room, man. Like, stop talking like a damn female. Sorry, ladies, if y'all watching, but just having to you saying. But
I know what you meant.
Man, that's my issue with that. Like, but yeah, I really think it's something else brewing that we just probably don't know about.
We'll hear about
maybe
later.
we might hear about it once this offseason, approaches or whatever. Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's something going on there. I don't know if Kyrie and LeBron is really don't have a really good relationship as it appears to be, but yeah, something bad's going on right now.
Yeah, I think it's Ken actually made the point that I was thinking about earlier when we were talking about it. I think they're bored. I think there's something to be said about them being bored, and the reason why I say that is because if you look at Golden State. Golden State has something that will light their fire. They're chasing after history. They're trying to become the team to beat the Bulls' record. And then they've also got, quiet as kept, they've got San Antonio nipping at their heels. San Antonio is chasing, they're chasing the Warriors. So they got something to play for. You look over at OKC. OKC's got something to prove because they're trying to prove that they can't be the forgotten team in the West. The Clippers are trying to play well without Blake Griffin. So all of the upper echelon teams have a reason to play. The Cavs aren't being challenged. And I'm not making excuses for them, but I'm just offering just the flip side of the coin. I think maybe they are bored at times. I mean, there's no reason why that team should have gone out last night and playing against those D-League All-Stars and lost at home, no less, to those guys from Memphis. That being said, I think there's something to be said about what B said. Like, there's something going on, and I guess my issue with it, and I'm not going to necessarily point the finger at LeBron, but we heard these type of stories when he was in Miami. And then, like he had a couple of days off, and hey, man, your day off you want to do. But the fact that his day off, or he had a couple of days off, and he leaves his teammates, he leaves everybody, he goes to Miami to kick it with D. Wade. This whole chilling out, and first and foremost, if I'm D. Wade, now again, I don't know the nature of D. Wade's relationship with LeBron, but I do know that LeBron left D. Wade. So the only person we know for a fact that D. Wade is close with is Ken, and they've never left each other, right? But my point is that I just wouldn't, all of this, the sub tweets and stuff, man, get off Twitter, play ball. I mean, like, I know that LeBron wants to get more out of Kyrie, but also Kyrie's looking at him like, look, dude, you got to do more too. And LeBron's never had that where somebody's trying to hold him accountable. Now, you can make a case and say, look, Kyrie's not in a position to hold LeBron James accountable. Some people might say, yes, he is. But I think ultimately I put in the chat room, I don't buy Toronto. I'm not buying Toronto. I don't think that there's any, barring injury, I don't think there's anybody in the East that can beat Cleveland in a 7-game series. But there's about 3 or 4 teams that can beat them in the West. And LeBron said, I think he said after last night's loss that they weren't playoff ready. What that tells me is like we're not ready to represent the East because they could sleepwalk through the Eastern Conference playoffs, but they're gonna have a hard time if they make it to the finals, no matter who they face, San Antonio or Golden State or anybody else who might come out of the West. So I think it's a little bit of boredom, but there is cause for concern because there's a pattern here. And, I think LeBron is at the center of it. And, again, he needs to check it because it's his legacy that's attached to it. If Kyrie Irving goes to the finals and doesn't win, nobody's saying, oh, Kyrie don't have a ring. All they're going to say is the same thing that B said a couple of weeks ago. B said, I don't think Cleveland will ever win a ring with LeBron. Hey, and if that happens, it's unfortunate. And then Stephen A. Smith, for what it's worth, reported earlier this week that LeBron James could leave Cleveland. Of course, we know he could leave at the end of the season because he's a free agent. That being said, and I tweeted out, I said, if he left Cleveland after all of this, he's the biggest cornball in the history of the world. Because you can't leave Cleveland after you did all of this stuff to get this team, and you come back, and the deck. And I mean, like, how much does the deck need to be stacked for you to appease you? At this point, LeBron has to, he's got to man up. And I'm not putting it all on LeBron, but because he's the superstar, because it's his team, the win, the pats on the back and the criticism is going to hit LeBron more than anybody else.
Yo, is Ken frozen?
He does look frozen.
No, you do like you just your internet just paused on you, dude. Funny.
We can move over to real quick, man. MMA. A big couple of big losses, upsets, if you will. Your girl Holly Holm goes down and Conor McGregor goes down in MMA. For those of you who don't follow MMA like me, I don't follow it that much, but I did know a fight was going on. And I do know that Conor McGregor talked cash-ish this week and the weeks leading up to this fight. And I get it. Some of it's to sell tickets, but he went out there and got choked out. He got choked out by Diaz after calling Diaz everything under the sun. And then Holly Holm loses. She becomes the female Buster Douglas, losing her title defense after one thing. So I know, B, you follow MMA more so than the rest of us do. What does this mean for MMA? And the second question, as far as Holly Holm losing her title, what does this mean for Ronda Rousey?
All I gotta say is, you talk mess about Floyd Mayweather, you get L's. I don't know why. Every time a MMA or UFC fighter talks mess or trash talk Floyd Mayweather, they end up catching the L. It happened with Ronda Rousey, and now look what happened with Conor. He was talking mad crap to Floyd Mayweather, and look what happened. He caught an L. So I mean, and answer your question, Kyle. I don't follow UFC like that. I follow boxing.
Okay.
I'm a boxing guy. So yeah.
My bad. I thought you was MMA guy.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just follow like the popular fights, but like other than that, I don't like follow the sport like I follow boxing. But yeah, man. Every time you talk mess to Floyd, man, you catch them L's. I mean, I think UFC is just one of them sports where you can just lose any night, really. I mean, you can think. I thought Anderson Silva was like one of the greatest guys.
Yeah.
He started catching L's, and it was just like you gonna catch L's eventually. So, but Holly, she didn't even tap out. Like when the girl had her in the chokehold, she was still like trying to fight and get loose, and then she was fighting, and then you saw her arms just limp, and like. The ref had to like call it off because old girl was still like choking her. So I was like, dang, Holly was still fighting. But man, Conor, as soon as my man got him in chokehold, Conor tapped out quick. He was like he didn't waste no time. But Holly, at least Holly had some dog in her. But yeah, I know if I'm Ronda, I'm happy. I'm happy that you probably don't get to see Holly because styles wise, it seemed like Holly was had the advantage. But I can see the media probably try to hype this up again, and if Ronda get the championship, they're gonna kind of build her up, back up or whatever. But like I said, you talk mess to Floyd, you're gonna end up catching L's, man. So, hey, that's all that is. So I guess for you MMA fighters, don't talk mess to Floyd or whatever. Don't say he's washed up or whatever, or he's a coward and stuff like that. Every time they talk Master Floyd, them UFC fighters catch L's, man. So just keep your mouth shut, man. Just leave.
Speaking of Floyd, man, I saw where Pacquiao, and I don't know why he did. Maybe he was asked a question, but Pacquiao said he would be open to negotiating about fighting Mayweather again. And we all know Mayweather's retired, but if I'm Floyd, I mean, why would I want to fight May? I mean, I don't want to see that fight again. I guess and I'm not speaking for everybody. I personally, I don't want to see that fight again.
Yeah, I don't either, because I mean, it's gonna be Floyd pretty much breaking them down again. Like, just yeah. I mean, but I think they're trying to say if Pacquiao beat Timothy Bradley like just in a dominant fashion, like just on some he knocked him out in the 7th round, 8th round type of deal or something like that, then I can see people. Floyd to come back. If it's for the right amount of money, it's gonna have to take him for a lot of money, I think, for Floyd to come back, and they'll pay him. I mean, if it's for Floyd to make a whole lot of money, he'd go for that 50, and he'd do it just to shut people up, to be like, look, this first time was not no fluke. Y'all want to say he had a shoulder injury, while he lost, but I mean, I can see Floyd coming back for that. Like, let me go in here and dislocate, and break him down again, take away his best weapon and all that stuff, and bam, it's just gonna be the same outcome as the first fight. It's not gonna be exciting. It's gonna be Floyd breaking Manny Pacquiao down. Manny Pacquiao gonna land like 12% of his punches, and Floyd gonna land about 48% of his, and that's what is gonna happen. It's not gonna be an exciting fight. So yeah, and Floyd he's gonna cruise to 50-0.
Yeah, I'm like you, Alan. That ain't a fight I want to see.
Yeah, so that's all. That's all that's gonna happen.
Ken or FIFO, y'all want to add anything to this MMA battle before we move on?
I think for Ronda it kind of sucks because you really can't get redemption now. So, are they still on to fight a rematch?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I think Ronda's gonna fight old girl now. The girl that just beat. Yeah, she's gonna fight her.
Yeah, she's going for the title. Yeah, so we'll see. So what type of fighter was she? The girl that beat.
Maisha Tate. I think she was more of a. She's not a boxer. I'll be honest. I don't know much about women's MMA, but just
yeah,
go
as
ahead.
long as she's not a boxer like Holly, then Ronda got a chance. Ronda probably gonna get it.
What about you, Ken?
I really don't have anything to add. I think there was much made about this fight. It received a lot of coverage, and again, it was a shocking defeat for the most part, seeing Conor lose, much like it was when Ronda lost, a while back. And didn't Conor move up in weight class to fight?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah, because they was asking him, is he gonna go back down to like 140 or something like that?
Gonna run his ass back down to shit. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Because I think, well, I don't know. I only read a lot of this stuff in passing before the fight and then a little bit afterwards, but. No, man, it was shocking. It was surprising, and I think that was really the news, that Conor lost and Holly lost tonight. And it's like, whoa, what's going on in the universe for that to happen? And I'm with FIFO. It just dampens any rematch that those two have because you don't have the title anymore. So who wants to see that? Except maybe Ronda, and Ronda probably don't even want to see that.
No, she's not going to waste her time. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Again, like I said, it's always good to get in some MMA talk, but we'd be the first to admit that we're not MMA watchers. But,
I'm going to start watching that stuff, Kyle.
I tried, man. I just couldn't get into it, man. I'm going to try it, man. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
I do like the pre-fight trash talking, but I will say this much. You got to give Diaz, and I don't think people are giving Diaz enough credit. Diaz came in there with a game plan. And he straight took it to McGregor. And, sometimes these guys get in there and they talk all that trash and they don't back it up. And, I think McGregor really slept on Diaz. And Diaz came in there and he did what he had to do. And you know, like I said, you get choked out in the second round, hey man, to the point where you tapping out, hey man, you just got to get up and shake the man's hand. Now, if somebody choked me out, I probably wouldn't want to fight him again. I probably want to see him again. But I mean, time will tell how this one actually plays out. Next up on the list to talk about, Ben Simmons, the all-world player from LSU, was ruled academically ineligible. Was not. Let me retract that. He was ruled ineligible for the Wooden Award. When pressed on why he was ineligible for the Wooden Award, someone leaked to the press that Ben Simmons was not eligible because of his academic performance. Word got out that he had a 1.8 GPA. FIFO, do you have a problem with someone leaking out Ben Simmons' grade point average and why he's not eligible for the Wooden Award?
Of course. That's not public information, so it shouldn't be public. Yeah, I have a problem with it. With that, I don't necessarily have a problem with the one and dones not necessarily going to class, especially if they know they're going to be the number one overall pick. Because a lot of guys, I don't want to say a lot of guys, but some guys don't need college. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns needed a year of college. I think he could have came out, he would have been a little bit more frail, but the extra year of NBA experience, I think, would have did him well. There's just some guys I don't think need it. I don't think Ben Simmons is one that needs it. So he probably went to a school where he knew he could get away with it. The Wooden Award doesn't mean jack to him. He wants to be the first round, first pick of the NBA draft and solidify his career as a professional athlete. College is just a little step on the way.
Okay. What about you, Ken? Did you have a problem with this information being leaked? And what do you think about him not being eligible for the Wooden Award?
We talking about Ben Lemons?
You're not impressed with Simmons?
No.
Okay.
Man.
I'm hearing that a lot, man. I'm hearing that a lot.
Y'all tripping.
I didn't say it. I said I'm hearing it a lot.
Anyway, FIFA makes a compelling argument for it, so I'll just have to wait until the NBA. But right now, I think that it's disrespectful to leak something out like that. But I mean, when you ain't got anything else going for you at LSU in terms of basketball, what else you gonna do? So you gotta get people to talking about you, because they used to talk about Ben Lemons until he started losing. Until they started losing. And you know what? It's not all his fault. I think the coaches, it hasn't been that great. Well, we know why LSU basketball is where it's at. But nevertheless, it's not right. I mean, I think that's the clear answer. But you know what? The thing is, if you're Ben Simmons, you're going to be the number one pick in the draft, possibly. Even though I think that may be slowly changing. You got to get used to people doing stuff like this, and let this be a lesson that as you continue to become more and more of a public figure, you need to develop some thick skin, and you tolerate these type of things, because your life won't be your life anymore, and that's about it.
What about you, B? Your thoughts on Ben Simmons not being eligible for the Wooden Award and somebody leaking his GPA?
Like people said, I mean, his award, his award is the number one pick goes to Ben Simmons. Like that's his award. That's all that matters right now. I think he knows that he's gonna leave college after this year and go to the NBA, into the NBA draft. He'd be stupid not to, I think, at this point. Even though I still think he needs some grooming in his game. But he's gonna be first round draft pick. That's his Wooden Award. But don't sleep on what's my man from Oklahoma?
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield, yeah. Don't sleep on him, man. Don't sleep on that dude.
You think he could jump? You think he could jump Simmons as far as positioning goes?
No.
We have to see how Because I think
Well, I
right
guess
now,
we would need to
LSU.
know who's
I don't even
picking
think
too.
LSU is gonna make the tournament right now.
It doesn't matter. You don't pass up on 6'10", 225, 230.
If Buddy
I mean,
Hill,
if
if
the
Buddy Hill
Sixers get the
have
number
a
one pick,
Dwayne Wade type of showing in the tournament,
You
I
don't
don't
pass
know.
up.
I don't know. I don't know. Because Buddy Hill got that fire, man. He got that killer mentality in college. At least he's showing in college. So, you know.
Look, man. I'm not an NBA insider. I'm not Stephen A. I ain't the light skinned Chris Broussard.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, Ben Simmons is guaranteed number one pick.
I don't
Nobody's
know,
gonna.
man. You still gotta wait though, because you know a star is always born in the NCAA tournament, man.
Bro, I feel you.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate,
matter.
FIFO. Let me play devil's advocate. This time last year, we said the same thing about Jalil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know they're not the same player, but I'm just saying.
But,
I mean,
wait,
you get where I'm coming from?
No, but we knew that last year's draft was way deeper.
Okay.
Way deeper. We knew that. We knew that going in. We knew that there were, and then how the draft kind of played out. Everybody kind of had, the draft played out a little weird. It just did, because we thought that Philly was gonna have the first pick because they were the worst team. So we are automatically pegging them going there, them taking a point guard because they traded away MCW. So everything, a lot of different things can happen, but this is not a deep draft, and I guarantee you. Look, man, Dead End Sports. Look, I guarantee. Who wants to put money on? Let's put money where your mouth is. Ben Simmons will be the number one pick in the NBA draft, regardless of who is drafted. He will be the number one pick, guaranteed.
They'll end up getting Marvin Williams.
Nah, buddy.
Man, please don't mention Marvin Williams, man. I still not happy about that at all, man. We could have had CP3. I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I like Simmons going one. I don't like the fact that they put his GPA out there, because at the end of the day, man, people don't care. I mean, like a lot of people, the powers that be, they care about these kids performing and playing. They don't care about whether or not they go to. You've never heard anybody ask a kid like, "How are you doing in your classes?" Because you don't care. You want to know, are you ready to play against Duke on Saturday? You don't care about what these kids. They want them to stay eligible. That's all. I mean, let's just keep it real. That being said, I mean, a kid like Ben Simmons. And I know this is gonna sound foul for somebody who really believes in education, but if it was me, ain't no way in hell I'd be going to class. So, I mean, I give him props for going to class. I mean, man, please, because think about it. Like people said, the one and dones, really and truly, once you get past your first semester, that's it. I mean, you're pretty much, like right now, these teams, everybody is about to play their conference tournaments this week. Conference tournaments, and then there'll be selection Sunday. And then the tournament this time next week, we'll be getting ready for the NCAA tournament. So, no, I wouldn't. And LSU looks like, unless they make a deep run or win the SEC tournament, they're not going to make the tournament. So, I mean, so we're about to see the last of Ben Simmons in an LSU uniform anyway. So it's a farce, man. I don't like the fact that they put his GPA out there. I don't need to know his GPA. I don't need to know Buddy Hield's GPA or Grayson Allen or anybody else's GPA. It is what it is. I mean, these kids, they're students, so let them do what it is that they do. They're there to, get an education, but, a lot of them are just there to play ball. Let's just keep it real. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I think the people at the Wooden Award, they could have just said, well, he's not eligible, and just left it at that and let the public decide or guess as to why he did not make the cut.
Here's a 1 point. You said his GPA was at 1.8?
1.8, yeah.
1.8, huh.
And well, you know what, Ken? I found out today, too, in doing some research, Carmelo's GPA was a 1.8 at Syracuse.
Has he been to the NBA Finals?
Who?
Melo.
Man, he got a ticket.
Okay.
Man,
What's the correlation, Ken?
I
What's the
don't know.
correlation?
He's about to throw some.
Because
He's
you're
about to
trying
throw
to.
some shade at Melo, man. You know, y'all know I try to defend Melo. I'm the
1.8.
only one that defends Melo around here. But nonetheless, man, we'll see how this plays out. Like
What, little pop quizzes?
hey, maybe he's got a tough major. I don't know. You could probably Google
Ben
and see what his
Simmons don't have a tough major.
I mean, hey.
Ain't no way in hell Ben Simmons have a tough major. Ben Simmons.
You trying to tell me Ben Simmons taking those general studies courses? I hate general. I hate when you watching a game and they flash up what a guy's major is on the screen and it says general studies.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my God, I hate that, man. You might as well major in.
Go learn something.
Oh.
You know, and see that's the problem, man. You know, see here you are, Kyle, like, you know what, it don't matter. You know, because you go into the league anyway. What if he break his knee, bust his kneecap, sprain his ACL? Anything can happen to Benny boy. Then what? Then what is he gonna do, Kyle? Nobody's gonna want him then. LSU damn sure not gonna want him. They'll send him back where he came from.
Hey, man. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm just telling you.
He needs to take his ass to school.
I'm just telling you what I know. As somebody who majored in marketing.
And it's like he give a damn on the court.
And I didn't care. I'm going to be honest. I didn't care about any classes outside of marketing. Hated classes. But, you know, it is what it is. I had to go to them, though. But trust me, if I was Ben Simmons, I'd be missing a whole bunch of classes. Nonetheless, let's move on.
Damn shame.
Tennis. Let's go to tennis. Maria Sharapova got cloudy piss. She just tested positive for a banned substance. According to her, it was a substance she's been taking for the past 10 years. She said it's a medication that helps her with heart arrhythmia, I guess. And but she said as of January, it became a banned substance, and she subsequently tested positive for it. And now she's looking at a 2 to 4 year ban. B, man, you buying what she's selling, man?
The fact that she got banned?
No, the fact that her excuse as to why she got banned.
It don't matter. I mean, it doesn't really. I think the only reason why it doesn't matter, now that I think about it, is that because it's not like she like won a lot of majors or a lot of like a bunch of tournaments. You know what I'm saying? I think if she would have been like right up there with Serena Williams as far as like the majors, I think you could kind of make it a big deal, you know, but it's not like she's been winning a lot. I mean, and look, every time she didn't lost to Serena, what, like 12 straight matches or whatever? Like, she hasn't won a set against Serena in like what, 8-9 years or something like that? You know, I could be a little off in the years or whatever, but it's been a long time since the last time she's beat Serena Williams. You know, she don't even have more majors than Venus. You know what I'm saying? Venus has less majors.
Wow.
So, yeah, like I said, it's not like she's winning a lot. It's not like she's been like dominating. I hate that the media was always trying to pub her up like she's like the toughest competition next to Serena, and Serena just like would show her like she's not even like on my level. Like, get on out of here with that comparison. So, you know, at first I was kind of thinking like, oh man, if this was Serena, man, the media would drag her. But that's only because Serena is freaking dominating the sport for the last 15, almost 20 years. So, you know, that would be something there. I can see why that would be something, but it's not like Sharapova's just been dominating, you know. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yeah, you tested for this drug in the Australia Open, and Serena still killed you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you still was losing. So, yeah, I don't think it's that big.
The steroid wasn't working.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal because it's not like Sharapova has been dominating the sport. You know, she just, you know, she ain't winning, so it's not no big deal for me. It's just like, call it whatever you want to see it. You still was losing, so whatever drug you was taking, it wasn't helping you.
Russian Pro 10.
Damn, B.
What? What?
I was laughing at you.
What I do?
Man. No, you didn't do anything. What you just said was funny.
Okay.
It wasn't like a couple weeks ago. Um, Ken, what about you, man? What's your take on Sharapova?
B. Sharapova is 2-19 versus Serena Williams,
There you go.
and I think she's lost 18 in a row.
Damn.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Double damn.
Nobody care about you, girl. Get on. Flick your ass on somewhere. Nobody care about you.
Meldonium is used to treat serious heart problems.
Yeah, that's what she's taking, meldonium.
Serena got her taking meldonium, man.
She losing,
that's all I
chest
got.
hurting.
Serena, man, Serena got it. She got heart problems. She can't even take it. She can't even. What would you do if you lost 18 times to somebody?
Hey, man.
You know, her heart, man. Like, you know, Serena been putting it on her for so long, man. You know that she just can't. She can't take it anymore. So, you know, she either trying to get a heart and get some courage, figure out a way to beat her, or something. But whatever it is, it ain't working. And you know, to be honest, she may have taken this stuff on purpose. So we can sit out for the next 2 years.
This fool's
When she come back, people be like, "Oh, she's been out of the game for what?" Continue to make this but she needed to double down on that heart medicine. If I was her, I would have.
Oh, this fool said, "Get a heart." Oh, what about you, Fivo, man? Any take on Sharapova and if you buying what her excuse for testing positive?
You know, I don't follow tennis like that, so
I don't either.
I'm gonna go with B, and you know all these stats. If you're 2-19 against somebody, maybe you should start taking something because obviously you need some type of competitive edge. But I don't think you know, I don't know. I guess I can believe it. You know, I don't know what that substance is supposed to do, and they just banned it. So I don't know. Maybe doctor. You know, we need a resident doctor. Like, hey, look, call in next time. Let us know. But I don't know, man. I really, honestly don't care.
It's used to aid the circulation of oxygen and treat serious heart problems.
Yeah, so
Couldn't breathe. He was hyperventilating. She lost. You know, that's what it is.
So yeah, that sounds like
tissue death.
I believe her. I believe her.
Yeah. It said it also says the drug improves the user's mood. I never heard of this drug, and allows them to become more active. They become more active. Their motor dysfunction decreases. That could explain 18 losses. And asthenia, dizziness, and nausea become less pronounced. Says she's been taking it for 10 years for health issues. Look, if you got to take that, you don't need to be playing tennis.
Yeah, probably need to shut it down.
You can't win. You need to sit your ass down.
Hey, shout out to my.
She should have went to her doctor and said, "Yo, I need some new. Give me that shit you've been giving Peyton Manning."
Right. Hey, shout out to my man Prince G Mo in the chat room. He said LeBron's gonna be taking that melodrome when they play the Warriors.
Oh man. Damn.
Oh, that's funny. Good one. Man, what was I going to add? Oh, real quick before we get out of here, man. D'Angelo Williams' tweets about Peyton Manning. Did anybody think he was out of pocket, man?
What did he say?
He said according to him, he did not know that the press conference was going on at the same time that he was sending the tweets. There was a reporter that had sent out a tweet saying that they had recently seen Manning's game against Green Bay, and they felt like he still had a lot left in him and that he could play again next year. So you know how it goes on Twitter. D'Angelo Williams responds to the reporter's tweets, and so he and the reporter going back and forth, and then D'Angelo Williams fires off a couple of tweets, and in his tweets he basically said that Peyton was garbage last year. He said I think the quote was he couldn't play dead in the Western. He said this past year, he said he's not taking anything away from his legacy. He's like, but this past season, Peyton Manning was garbage. He just happened to win a Super Bowl. And a lot of time, and I told some of my boys, I said, he's going to back down off these tweets. I said, now, you know, you guys know I have a big problem with people who tweet stuff and then say, oh, well, my account was hacked, or they come back and apologize. No, if you tweet it, if you hit send, you meant to say it. So I was interested to see what he would say if, you know, once the pressure started coming at him, if he would back down. And to his point, he has not backed down at all. He said he stands by what he said, and that's that. You know, but he caught some flack from it from fans and stuff like that, people going at him and stuff like that. I checked his mentions. His mentions was on fire. I mean, there was a lot of people caping up for Peyton Manning now. A lot of people caping up for Peyton Manning. So, yeah, I just want to get you guys' take. Do you think he was out of pocket with those tweets?
No. Why? Look, man, even if you don't understand football, you watched Peyton Manning last season, you know that he wasn't the best guy doing his job. But you can see that. It doesn't take a football aficionado to see that. So, you know, I don't think you're out of pocket for saying anything about anybody. Everybody has an opinion. And if you don't like what I say, then prove me wrong. Peyton can't do that because ain't nobody going to pick his ass up. So everybody know Peyton sucked. Because if he could still ball, he would still be playing. Let's be honest. A lot of guys go through it. Troy Polamalu didn't want to leave. Hines Ward didn't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like it's addicting, man. And it comes to a point in time where you're in your mind you can play, but physically you can't. It's time to walk away. And I don't think he was out of pocket at all. Speak your mind, man. Freedom of speech out here. It's America.
What about you, B?
No, I don't think he was out of pocket. He could have said whatever the heck he wanted to say. Yeah, I'm like you though, Kyle. I do hate like when they tweet stuff or say stuff, and you know, then they go back and quick to delete it. Like if that's how you feel,
yeah, let it be.
Stand by it, stand up, and own to it. Don't just
own it.
Tweet it, and then when you get a backlash, oh, let me go delete the tweet. You know, like no, man. If that's how you felt, then own up to it. You know what I'm saying? Be a man. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like he was just out of pocket. Like, oh man, you're so wrong, or my feelings are hurt. I can't believe you said that about Peyton Manning. I mean, you know, we all saw that. We saw him declining this season, especially.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no question.
I mean, I remember like in week 2 or week 3 of the NFL season, we was like, dude, like Peyton Manning needs to hang it up. Like it's just like he's not that dude no more. Like he just need to go off, you know, go into the sunset. He's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We were saying this in like week 2 of this past football season. Like he just need to just stop it. So yeah, you know, it's just like come on, man. But I don't feel like he was like so super out of pocket about it. So just, you know, leave him alone. I know he went at your precious Peyton Manning, but let it go. Just let it go. Let it go.
What about you, Ken?
Well, if Peyton Manning had some of that Sharapova, so came back to play another year.
Oh, boy, you stupid.
They probably need to switch doctors. And maybe D'Angelo Williams wouldn't be tweeting the way he's tweeting right now. Because, you know, it's not like the guy was wrong. Everybody knew that. Peyton Manning knew it. Peyton Manning admitted, you know, he was like, look, man, you know, it's the defense. The defense, they're the one that, you know, that's winning these games for us. So yeah, I don't think he's wrong, man. Look, we're talking about a competitive sport here. And B and I, we've kind of talked about this before, man, that we like when Kevin Durant and Draymond Green were talking to each other. Like, we like to see that stuff. Derrick Rose and Patrick Beverley were talking to each other, and they got a technical for it. Like, this makes the game fun and exciting. So for me, it's like let these guys talk. Let these guys enjoy them. Yeah. I mean, it was a little disrespectful because the guy on the way out, but it's not like he wasn't, you know. I guess the guy was like, Tomlin is like, why are you shooting a man while he's down, while he's leaving? But I can see, now that I think about it, maybe it was a little out of bounds. Because maybe if Peyton was coming back next year, it would have been more in bounds, but now that he's going out, but it's not like he was lying.
Right.
That's where I'm a little conflicted.
Right.
You know, he was telling the truth. But I think Tomlin was like, "Yo, man, we gotta work." I don't know, man. Just let them talk. Let them talk.
You know, and what I have a problem with, I think sometimes, man, when people say stuff on, and we see it all the time, when you say stuff on Twitter, Facebook, social media, whatever like that, I've always been a proponent of don't say something via social media that you wouldn't say with somebody in the same room. And my thing is, if Peyton Manning and D'Angelo in the same room, there's no way he would say that to Peyton Manning's face. Now, right, FIFO's right. It's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say, but freedom of speech comes at a price. And, I mean, we saw that somebody referenced it in the chat room about Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, he's free to say whatever he wanted to say, but you're going to lose money. You say the wrong thing. You say the wrong thing about the wrong people. You say something offensive. You say something that's inflammatory. It's going to hit you in the pocket. I think he was on with what he had to say, but the timing was bad. I mean, again, he fired off these tweets, maybe not knowing, but he fired off these tweets during Manning's press conference. So, you know, and it's always difficult when you're getting back and forth when you debate. I mean, you guys know, get into debates with people about sports and hip hop or whatever this case may be, because everybody has their own opinion, and I get it. But I think that his timing was off. You know, if somebody, and I understand how it went. It went from it would be different if I probably would feel a little different if the conversation was just him and the reporter. But when he started firing off his own tweets, and he's free to tweet whatever he wanted to tweet, but he was then reprimanded today by Mike Tomlin, his head coach, who told him to chill. He said, "Quit while you're behind," and then he put hashtag really. I mean, so when Mike T gets involved, you know, now you got to shut it down. You got to kind of stand down on your comments. You know, your organization may be like, look, you're embarrassing us. You know, Peyton Manning is the face of the league. You know, they don't want anybody to say anything bad about it. Now, if he said this 2 months from now, you know, that's different. I just, you know, I wouldn't do it, but I understand why he did
it. Well, maybe the timing was bad. It was tasteless because of the timing. But facts are facts.
Oh man, so we'll see, man. It's crazy. You guys got anything else before we get to our parting shots?
Oh, fire away.
All right, B, you up first. Parting shot.
Damn. Parting shot.
Go ahead and let it out, B.
No, I'm trying to think what is my parting shot. I don't even go to somebody else first. All
right, Ken, what's your parting shot?
Warriors need to get their act together. They starting to come apart, man. I'm seeing some slippage. And Kerr actually called him out for it. You know, Kerr is bailing them. I mean, not Kerr, but Curry is bailing them out a lot. He saved a lot of games for them. He lost to the Lakers. The Magic gave you problems. You know, and teams are starting to really play counter them with small ball. So if they don't get it together, they may be out. They may not win a title at all. So
they've only lost 6 games.
Huh?
I said they've only lost 6 games.
Yeah, but look at the way they've had to win a good number of the last few games. They've had some lucky breaks go their way, and what happens when they stop going your way? That's all I'm saying. It can happen at any good time. They just need to get it together and quit being so sloppy, as Kerr eloquently put it, and let Draymond Green shoot that rock.
That's a reach, Ken. You reaching.
I'm not reaching, B.
That's a reach.
It's
How you tell a team that's on pace to beating the record that they need to get it together?
That they need to get their act together. Yeah. I am telling them they need to get their act together.
But you know, and you know what? Can I offer a counterpoint to your parting shot, Ken? I think the game in LA. You know who really won that game? Los Angeles. The Lakers didn't win. Los Angeles won. Those boys got out there and kicked it in L.A. really hard. Keep in mind, they played Thursday night. They didn't have to play again until Sunday. and Friday was Draymond Green's birthday. I'm pretty sure the Warriors partied pretty damn hard knowing that they had to play the Lakers on Sunday, and Kobe probably wasn't going to play that much. And does it sound like I'm making excuses for him? No, but LA won, not the
I've been
Lakers.
watching the games, Kyle.
LA won.
They've been needing moments to pull it out, and they pull it out to their credit. I'm just saying they don't look as dominant as they used to look earlier in this.
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All right, I'm not reaching, B.
It's a marathon.
But to say a team need to get together as they only lost 6 games, I don't get it.
I don't know.
I'm not even gonna ask Ken what he think about my Hawks. If they gotta get it together. FIFA, what's your parting shot, man?
Shout out to the damn Miami Dolphins making moves out here, looking like they trying to have a top 5 defense. Re-signing Cameron Wake, getting Mario Williams. Restructuring Ndamukong Suh's contract. So 305 till I die. So I'm just happy for the Dolphins. So shout out to the Dolphins. Make them move.
What about you, B? Parting shot.
Another one of my favorite times of the year is March Madness. I'm looking forward to watching the tournament, watching these conference tournaments as I'm watching them now, and the big dance. And I'm really happy for the tournament, but I'm just not looking forward to the stress of my bracket. It's like I get my bracket, and I always talk to myself like, okay, this is gonna be the winning one. And then by hell, within the first 5 hours of tournament starting on Thursday, my bracket is done. So it's just like I'm just not ready for the stress. Or if I have a damn near pretty much a perfect bracket the first weekend, and then the next weekend, my whole bracket is just ripped to shreds. So I'm just not looking forward to the stress of that. It's kind of similar to fantasy football. It's like I look forward to it, but I'm just not prepared for the emotional stress of it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the big dance. I always like to see some, like I said before, you always get a star that's in the making in these big dance, man. Dwayne Wade was one of them for me that year. It was like you rarely heard from him during the season, but then when the tournament time came up, it was like, dog, who is this guy in Marquette? Like it was just like, who is that dude? So that's one thing I do love about the tournament. You always kind of get a newborn star, that sometimes. Even if they might get a lot of hype going into the NBA draft or NBA season, even though that some you might get the hype and then some they might live up to the hype and make a good transition from college to the NBA. So that's one thing I always like about the big dance. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And Kyle in here banning everybody, man.
Hey, man.
What happened?
We had some fools in here, man. Fools jumping in the chat room just saying all kind of crazy stuff. We ain't got time for that. Just ban.
Hey, you see Cheryl's
Dang, dude.
Cheryl's comment?
No, I didn't see what she said.
She said we should start taking 5 questions at the end of shows.
Okay. I'm with that.
Okay, all right.
I'm with that.
I thought that was a good idea.
Look at Cheryl over here thinking on her toes.
I'm with that. Yeah, I'm with that. That makes it even easier for us because we love questions. Yeah, and that's a good idea too. Consider we can't get calls in like we did when we had the show on Blog Talk. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. My parting shot, man, stays right here. The ATL, the hometown Falcons. As many of you know, had a assistant coach, Coach Manuel, ask a player from Ohio State who was at the combine recently if he liked men. Not really sure why you would want to know if he liked men or not, but his. We're not talking about Lennox Mall, Ken, on a Saturday. Here's my take, man. I think, first and foremost, he should have been fired because on most jobs, that is something will get you fired. That being said, it ain't none of his business if he likes men or not. What you should be worrying about is whether or not this kid can play and if he can help you play. But, the Atlanta Falcons, the way I see it, especially the seasons that we've had, you should be happy that anybody wants to come to the city and play. 8-8 ain't going to cut it. So a word to the wise, Dan Quinn, you better get your staff together and get your stuff together because another 8-8 season and they're gonna be pushing you out the door too, right along with your little Rudy Poop GM. So get your stuff together. I was about to cuss, but I'm not.
It was an inappropriate question. I did find it funny.
I didn't find it funny, man. I mean, like, and it wasn't, from what he said, it wasn't even in the context of a question. He said, I mean, in the context of an interview, he said that's the first question he asked.
He probably was asking for himself, Kyle. Let that man cook, man. he just want to know. He trying to figure out what he working with.
I wonder if his second question was, what that mouth do?
Oh man, that's awful. Jesus Christ. What is going on here?
Oh man.
Hey, look,
again,
y'all can do whatever y'all want to do.
You know what? I could care less, and I've said this before in the show. If you think that there aren't gay players in every locker room, you're crazy. But that's nobody's business. I could care less what you do behind closed doors. As long as you show up on that court, as long as you show up on that field, that's all that matters to me. As long as you show up on that ice, that's all that matters to me. I could care less. But, I mean, he was out of pocket. He really should have gotten fired. And what's going to happen is, what needs to happen in the NFL is people start getting fired for stuff like this, they'll stop asking these kind of questions.
Why can't they ask the questions, Kyle?
That ain't none of his business. I mean, what does he care? Like you said, other than he was interested in himself, did he hear something about this kid or something? Did he hear he was gay or something? Like some people will be offended. I've never been, we've all been on job interviews. I don't want anybody to ask me if I'm gay or not.
Right.
I mean, what we do behind closed doors is our business. So, like you said, it's either one or two things. Either he was interested, but he was out of pocket. He was way out of pocket. And it's a bad look for the Falcons, who already had an assistant coach shove a scout. They just had the whole thing blow up with Roddy White and Kyle Shanahan. So, I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. They're not, they're off to a rough off season. So, and like I said, you should be trying to attract as many free agents as you can. We're not the Patriots around here. KT Money asked in the chat room, would I be offended if somebody asked me if I was straight? No, I wouldn't be offended, but again, that's not a question that has anything to do with my job performance. It ain't none of your business whether I'm straight or not. I am, but what does that have to do with my job performance? If it had anything to do with my job performance, then you asked me. But if it doesn't,
I think
keep it moving.
In all seriousness, questions like that and religion typically are, off limits.
They are.
He was tripping.
Yeah, he's lucky he still got his job.
He was asking for himself.
Man, before we get out of here, man, what's coming up on Dead End? I was about to say Dead End Sports. What's coming up on Dead End Hip Hop, man? What y'all got popping?
Nick Caution review.
Who?
Kendrick tomorrow. And we did Macklemore.
A Macklemore review?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I got to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is so funny. That's so funny. So, yeah, that's going to do it for us, man. We're done here. Make sure that you follow us on all the socials. Check us out right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, youtube.com/Dead End Sports, place where sports opinions collide. Like I said, that's going to do it for this week. For Ken, for B, for FIFO, I'm your host, 12 Cop. FIFO, wake up, man.
I'm up.
Oh, you look like you're asleep.
I'm up.
Hey, man, that's going to do it for us, man. We'll holler at you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.